Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, thanks for joining us. Tasmanians are once again demonstrating their selfless community spirit, with a dozen healthcare workers flying to Victoria this weekend to help fight COVID. Meanwhile, Premier Peter Gutwein confirming there will be no changes to recent border announcements as business owners call for clarity.
Flying on the seat of his pants, Par Avion's Shannon Wells has had a turbulent year, to say the least, further heightened by our recent border announcements.
So I know the objectives to say this firm date is for confidence, but it's not firm. So it's not leading to confidence, it's leading to more confusion.
Receiving interstate visitor cancellations for booking straight away, now adding his voice to calls for clarity, wanting a clear date for when the drawbridge will be raised.
It's not as bad as what we had back in March, but it's just leading to me not want to plan too far ahead, and that's hard for my staff.
Tasmania should plan for the 1st of December. We will take public health advice. If we can open to safe jurisdictions before that, we will.
Fresh from National Cabinet today, Peter Gutwein doubling down.
But we will scale up and scale down as we need to, in line with the risks and threats to our state. Our approach has been consistent from the start.
South Australia's Premier again calling for a travel bubble, saying not having one is distressing for businesses and families.
Especially Western Australia and Tasmania, we would not pose a threat with the current level of infections in South Australia.
He never raised it with me today, which I'll probably give him a call over the weekend to have a chat. He's a delightful fellow.
Meanwhile, 12 local healthcare workers will this weekend fly out to fight COVID on Victoria's front line.
I wish these courageous and hard-working Tasmanians the very best.
And in some rare good news for pub goers, 8-ball and darts will next week be on the cards again. But like our borders, dance floors will stay closed for now. Louise Huber, 7 Tasmania News.
A 19-year-old man who allegedly attacked 2 police officers, threatening them with pepper spray, has avoided immediate jail time. The teen is charged with a number of offences, including aggravated assault, after the incident in Mayfield early yesterday morning. The magistrate granted bail to the teenager. He'll face court again next month. 7 men have been proceeded against for the offences of behaving in a violent manner and destroying property, more than 7 months after a violent brawl at an Ulverston pub. A social media video went viral in January of an incident at the Lighthouse Hotel, showing people being knocked to the ground as the brawl moved from inside the venue to the street outside. 3 of the men, aged in their 30s, are from Tasmania. 1 man is from Western Australia and 3 are from Victoria. The men from Tasmania will be summoned to appear in court at a later date. Warrants are in place for the men who reside interstate. And Tasmania Police is preparing to reintroduce random breath testing and drug testing operations. The process was suspended in March to help minimise the spread of coronavirus. But from Monday, authorities will once again be conducting the roadside tests, with strict new protocols in place to keep both the community and officers safe. A new Hobart City Deal progress report has revealed just how much of the ambitious idea has been rolled out 1 year into the 10-year project. Local leaders are already celebrating work done so far, but it comes amid concerns a major part of the plan could be facing lengthy delays.
Digging the foundations of a future playground. This new community hub, aided by a partnership between Greater Hobart mayors.
We're building Tasmania's best playground, and that's a key component of the city deal.
A progress report for that $887 million Hobart deal released today. Also highlighted the long-awaited Derwent Entertainment Centre upgrade.
We're really keen to work with our City Deal partners to ensure that we have the infrastructure to meet the needs of that development and a growing, vibrant, renewed city as well.
The report also moving forward the business case for an Antarctic and Science precinct and geotechnical work for a new Bridgewater Bridge. But Labor says progress is too slow.
Well, this government has an infrastructure strategy that it is absolutely in tatters. They announce and re-announce and fail to deliver every time.
There's always cynicism around individual projects, but the simple reality is we're delivering. And we're delivering because we're working as a team.
And on Launceston's roads, the RACT has received input from experts into improving the city's safety and congestion.
Launceston is really getting ahead of the curve here and thinking about these issues before we get significant problems and even greater growth in population than Launceston's already had.
It comes as the Hobart Airport roundabout project hits a possible setback. This landowner appealing part of the plan's application over concerns with a residential access road.
After 6 years of negotiations with Department of State Growth, Main Roads and Government, and been promised a suitable access to develop my property, I now have a road that's unsuitable for anything.
The matter will be concluded in the Planning Appeal Tribunal, but the government remains confident the project will be completed on time despite this new bump in the road. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
A Tasmanian environmental group is fighting to make logging in our native forests illegal. Launching a federal court challenge, the Bob Brown Foundation alleges forestry operations are being conducted in breach of environmental law, according to the Regional Forest Agreement Act.
Enough is enough out there in the Tasmanian forests. We've seen decades-long destruction and flattening and incineration of our native forests, endangered species habitat.
Our forest industry does care about the environment. We do it better than anywhere else in the world. All they're doing is reigniting the forest wars and moving them from forestry coops to the courtroom.
It's expected a hearing will begin in around a month. In a major change in the northern agricultural scene, the Killafatty sale yards will close the gates for the final time. Industry representatives say the old yards needed a major overhaul to meet modern standards, but the new move south to Paurana will be a good one.
A final clean of the sale yards before its future is wiped clean.
It's a bit like a funeral of an old person. It should be rejoicing the yards because they've been a really, really good servant to the industry.
After close to a century embedded in Launceston's fabric, Tuesday's Killafatty sale will be the last. All operations will instead be moved to Paurana, which is fast becoming a sales super hub.
The overwhelming feedback from buyers is that they want us all to sell at the one place.
The deteriorating condition of the ageing infrastructure blamed as one of the major reasons for the shutdown.
The current standards would be for soft floor for cattle, and these yards don't provide soft floor.
Those in the industry are confident the move won't cause major headaches for local farmers.
Once something's in a truck, whether it gets dropped off here or goes the extra half an hour to Paurana, probably not going to make a lot of difference.
20 years ago, the weekly Killafatty sales was a busy two-day event with stock bustling around the entire yards. But now, with dwindling numbers, many consider it a shadow of its former self.
On a good day at the moment, we get 100, 150 cattle between two sale yards.
But now it's time for Killafatty's final call.
6-5, 1-6-5.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
A local footy team is embodying the true meaning of a family club. Tomorrow, Alec Fotheringham will become the third generation in his family to play 150 games for Old Scotch, a club which was founded by his grandparents.
At its very core, the Fotheringham family is Old Scotch. 3 brothers, Max, Bob and Charles, founded the club in 1935. And tomorrow, Alec will become the third generation to play 150 games. The Thistles running in his blood.
Family, fun, strong cultured. Yeah, just a great place to be.
Even more remarkable, all 3 generations were best and fairest winners, club captains and premiership players. Alec's first flag in 2009, played in atrocious conditions, snapped a 23-year drought and sparked long overdue celebrations.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days I think, yeah.
Dad Gray, who notched up 183 games himself, will be offering his own feedback from the fence.
Very, very proud. The only thing is that he doesn't like hearing my voice over the boundary line.
Encouragement or advice?
A bit of both.
The Huon Valley also has a big match on, the Battle of the Huon, Cygnet and the Huonville Lions.
We're improving. We started off pretty slowly in the season, but hopefully we're hitting our straps at the right time, and obviously tomorrow's a big game.
It'll also be a big battle between Michael Paul and Josh Fox, who's back from Victoria.
I've got a full-time job over there and my partner's over there. Just excited to see some of the young players come through, and especially in the forward line.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
With more Tasmanians experiencing hardship because of coronavirus, a charity has found a way to create a one-stop shop for help. St Vincent de Paul is opening a community hub from Monday, allowing people to access multiple charities in one place.
Asking for help can be a tough task, and finding the places to ask a harder one. St Vincent de Paul hopes its new community hub in Launceston will provide help in a centralised place.
Getting enough strength together and coming through the door to ask for help. But then you have to go somewhere else to ask for help from someone else. What we're hoping to provide here is a one-stop shop so people aren't encumbered with the fact of having to find someone else to help them with their financial matters or with their mental health issues.
St Vincent de Paul will provide food parcels and help with financial issues, while other charities will also be at the hub, specialising in
domestic violence, family breakdown, substance abuse and other social realities that the community are facing at the moment.
the gap in services highlighted by the coronavirus pandemic.
Pretty much it emerged out of COVID. People that have never sought assistance from any emergency relief charity, and all of a sudden they are in a situation where they need some form of help.
Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's annual celebration of science and art has kicked off with the unveiling of a new photography exhibition. Part of the Beaker Street Festival, the competition was open to all photos with Southern Ocean or Antarctic content. And this was crowned the winner, showing the feat of an emperor penguin at Mawson Station.
The emperors just wander over to you. They're super curious, which is just really beautiful. And I was able just to lie down on the ice with my camera and take some photos, which was a pretty special experience.
We have so many amazing Tasmanians coming together, creating this really innovative content where we're pairing science with art and we're getting something really new.
The National Science Week event will also include a series of audio escapes, encouraging listeners to explore Tasmania's natural environment. Veteran Tasmanian-born journalist Tim Lester is heading to the US Bureau as a 7 News correspondent. Tim began his TV career as a reporter in Launceston and later became our newsreader. He also hosted the popular locally produced program Quiz Quest. He's been based in Canberra as a political reporter for 7 for the past 17 years. Tim joins the US team in October, just ahead of the election.
Glenorchy's Sarah Skinner is relishing a new role up forward in the TSLW. While the NPL is celebrating a milestone with Riverside's Aaron Campbell set to become the league's first player to crack 150 games. Aaron Campbell's record at the state's highest level is near flawless. The forward has missed just 8 games since the NPL competition began in 2013.
So I played Riverside Cricket Club, went to Riverside High, Riverside Primary, so Riverside through and through.
Which makes it all the more peculiar. Alex has played most of his games with Launceston City, but he returned home to Riverside as soon as it entered the Premier competition in 2019.
Hopefully I can crack the 200. I'm 30, but I guess Messi and Ronaldo are older than me, so I'll see if I can keep going till they can't do it anymore.
To have a player like Aaron, who is a junior player, come back to the club and have this milestone and achievement is something we're really proud of.
Meanwhile, after moving to the forward line, Glenorchy's Sarah Skinner has jumped to the top of the side's goal-kicking tally, booting 7 majors in the Pies' first 3 games. After a loss to Clarence in round 1, Skinner says her side is now becoming a force.
The game against Clarence, we really, didn't know how to play together as a team, and, a few games in, we're starting to get the hang of it.
They play North Launceston tomorrow at KG5. And no surprises in the Hockey Tasmania Premier League overnight. Top of the table, Northwest Grads thrashed Cellar Dweller Diamondbacks 6-0. The game was effectively over by half-time. Grads took the foot off the gas in the second as they prepare to back it up tomorrow. A similar outcome in the Women's League, Grads winning 3-0. Grace Calvert scored twice. One of the Hobart Hurricanes' youngest stars will soon find himself in the national spotlight. Riley Meredith will board the plane to England for a limited overs tour, and he's not content with standing on the sideline.
It's bowlers like Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins that Riley Meredith has modelled his game on. But in less than 48 hours, the speedster will be brushing shoulders with them.
Bloody excited to get over there and get into it, but yeah, pretty shocked as well.
Well, maybe he won't be getting too close in the current COVID climate. The limited overs tour to England lucky to go ahead, and there's a host of health precautions to ensure it's not jeopardised.
We go to the airport, we'll be masked up and gloved up, and the whole trip pretty much, and be distancing from each other.
The 24-year-old will fly with the 21-man squad, which also includes fellow Hurricanes teammate Matthew Wade, and he's ready to debut if the opportunity arises.
So obviously that'll be very nerve-wracking if it does, but yeah, just got to wait and see.
It'll be his first taste of bowler-friendly English wickets, but his frightening speed with ball in hand won't be neglected.
I'll definitely be trying to go flat out the whole time.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
And something a little different to finish Friday night sport. With the AFL locked out by this week's border closure, it'll be the first time in 20 years we won't see AFL being played here for premiership points. So, to remember the good old days, we're going back to 2001 when footy first came to Tassie for good. That day, a packed house filled York Park to see Shane Crawford's Hawks down Mark Rasciuto's Crows by 13 points. A perfect May day welcomed a record 17,000 fans through the famous York Park gates, and they clearly had an appetite.
One of the dishes on one of the local takeaway shops was fried crow yesterday.
The Hawks entered the game on a hot streak, but the Crows eyed an upset.
We rate ourselves a real good chance of beating them this week.
And while we've had a great start, we don't want to muck up on all the hard work we've done so far.
Start of a game from York Park in Tasmania.
Drama from the first bounce. Vice-captain Nick Holland went down within the minute.
The momentum has just popped that shoulder.
Players had trouble adapting to the soft surface. Even the Birdman, Brett Burton, was having issues. The Hawks changed boots and piled on 6 unanswered goals. Shane Crawford, a contributor.
Great kick and swinging back beautifully.
So too, Devonport's Jade Rawlings.
They're going to kick a goal and Rawlings has kicked it.
The evergreen Andrew McLeod was at the peak of his powers, booting 4.
To McLeod, 30 metres and closing.
But it was Nathan Thompson sealing the historic win. It was the first time the Hawks had ever started a season 6-0 and would also mark the start of 20 years of AFL footy in the Apple Isle.
Good evening. Well, I normally feel pretty chilled on a Friday. Today it was easy to do as temperatures dropped to be up to 5 below average. Hobart 11, Launceston 9, Burnie and Devonport both 10. 13 the maximum at Friendly Beaches after Mount Wellington recorded the low of -5. King Island and Smithton 12, Flinders Island, Grove and Ouse 11 degrees. Low Head, St Helens and Strawn 10. Henty Canal the best rainfall today as the low to our west pushed convective cloud over the state. That system produced the cloud over Victoria as well. Just to its south, a cold pool of unstable air is present and a high-level cloud band streams over Western Australia. Tomorrow the low moves off to the east, swinging the winds around to the south. A high positions over the Bight with another low following. Winds, as mentioned, more southerly tomorrow, up to 20 to 30 knots over western and southern waters, along with a 4-metre swell. A strong wind warning has been issued for waters between Tasman Island clockwise to St Helens Point. We also have a bushwalkers alert for the Highlands, a road weather alert for snow on roads on the Central Plateau, a warning to sheep graziers for the east, south-east Midlands and parts of King Island and the Furneaux Group. Saturday, Hobart 9 degrees and showers increasing. Maydena -1 to 9 the temperature range. Oatlands a top of 7 with showers. Launceston 13, a shower or 2 developing. 13 also for Devonport. Snow showers for Lyowini, a top of 4. 13 the high for Burnie with a morning shower, possible shower for Strawn 12 the top and 12 for Marrawar, and also in the east 13 the top for St Helens. Showers developing in the east, Swansea 10 and 11 for Orford. On Sunday, the southerlies continue, bringing more showers, however fine over the north and northwest of the state. A cold start to Monday, possible showers over the west, south and King Island. And on Tuesday, mainly fine, cold and partly cloudy, a shower over the west. A late shower in Perth. Showers also forecast for Adelaide and Melbourne. A cold, showery day in Canberra. Fine in Sydney and Brisbane, but quite windy there. Sunny and 33 in Darwin. Bit showery over Hobart at 7 at the moment. Showers over Launceston 8 degrees and 8 degrees in Devonport as well, with a shower or 2 in the area. Just watching Tom doing his sport tonight, Kim. He looked very smart. I'm sort of wondering where he gets his inspiration from.
You were such a fashionista and a mentor and so many words to describe you. That's all your news for now. Join Louise Huber this weekend. I'll see you again Monday. Good night.